Okay, let's start off. Um, this week, if you guys noticed something, we had a little bit of change in schedule. We're supposed to start JavaScript this week, but for some couple of reasons, first, um, we have exhausted our Leplit, what's it called? Our Leplit free times, and plus a lot of other things we're supposed to do, and it was not really going again. So I had to move up GitHub first before what's it called? Before JavaScript. So now basically this night I know I sent a couple of resources to you guys on the this thing on the WhatsApp this thing group. I don't know how many of I don't know how many of you guys are going through the videos. So how many of you guys went through the videos? Who went through the video that I sent yesterday? Nobody. So nobody went through the videos. That's fine. Well, that's good news for me, and then that's bad news for you guys too at the same time. So let me share this screen. Oh, supposed to share my entire screen with. Can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. So basically, I'll just do I'm going to do an overview and then stop there. Then give an assignment because you guys, I've already dropped the video. I was supposed to I wanted to just do question and answer and then.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The video you dropped was how to install VS Code or something.
Yeah, I also dropped resources about GitHub, Git. I also talked about Git. So basically, let me open up the official website. So let's look at what is Git and then. So now Git is a free and open source distributed version control system designed to handle everything from small to large projects with speed and efficiency. Now, basically, why do we need Git? So I'm going to just do a recap and then I don't know, do a summary, watch the video, right? So why do we need Git? Now, basically, if you notice something, one of the reasons, like when we talked about servers and this thing during the first 1 week of our class. So I was telling you that like the only way people can really access your website is when you host them on a domain name. Now what happens is that was one of the reasons because what you guys will have if you're using what's it called, let's say for example you guys have been using Visual Studio Code, you have something like localhost, maybe port 3000 or something. So this actually allows you to host your website or whatever you have on inside your computer, on your system, right? Inside your computer, on your system. So that's it. Now basically GitHub allows you to contribute and collaborate with anyone around the world. Now the goal of Git is to help you track little changes. Like in simple terms, Git allows you to track little changes on your code. And now those little changes can be referred to on later times. For example, we can be three people working on the same code. So let's say we have you, Emmanuel, we have Asna, I can't pronounce your name, sorry. Let me use Samuel, right? Let's say all of us here we want to work on a project. For example, we want to build a website, a beautiful website. Now The thing is that the problem is that you have your own copy of the website on your system. Me too, I have my own copy of the website, and all of us have the copy of our website. And let's say I want to I said okay, since you're going to work on this website together, say okay, Emmanuel, design the landing page, that's the home page. um Asha, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, design the about page. Then Samuel design um the contact us page. Now basically what you notice that what you guys will do is that at the end, once you three or four, like four of you, three of you guys are done with the project, so either all of us decide to send our own part, the part that we worked on to you, Emmanuel, or Samuel, or Asha. You understand? So then we have to send it manually, maybe either zip it, right, with all the whole assets. And assets, and whenever you hear assets on web development, it just means images, pictures, right? And all of these media files are called assets, right? So basically, so for me to be able to have your website, so either three of you guys come together and then drop the website to one of you guys, right? And then come back again to come and send it to me. And now the problem is that if, let's say, there's a change that needs to be made on, let's say, on the footer of the landing page, right? Now the problem is that you have to still, after making the change, get every other person's own updates to add it up. Let's say for example, I was like, okay, let's say we have some other person working on the about okay, we already have our home page working, we have our about page on working, so we also have our contact page. Now let's say we want to add each other section. Let's say okay, since you guys are working on landing page, okay, let's give somebody to work on footer. Let's say okay, I decide to work on footer. Now each time that there's a mistake on the footer, I have to still send it back to you, who is the person holding the whole code, right? And then you have to manually update it one after the other. So you have to update for your own code, update on this person's code, update on this person's code, also update on my own code. Do you understand? And that's where Git comes in, and that's where version control. And then let's say for example, at some point, let's say we are working on the landing page, and probably I said okay, there's a new idea that I just have now, that what if we do it this way? Okay, let's say we have two images side by side. Okay, let me look for something. I think okay, let me use this as an example. Let me use this website as an example. Let's say okay, now we have this page, we're working on this page, all of us here are working on this page. Now basically notice something. Okay, this thing changes. Let's say I don't want this thing to change again. Let's say I want it to be one, to coming out 1 1, 1 1, right? Now if I do changes here, if I change anything here, right, I have to still send it back to you guys one after the other, to merge it with your code one after the other. Secondly, what if I have another idea? I said okay, I want to add something here, but let's just try it out and see if it's going to work. Let's say I want to add okay, we already have testimonials. Let's say I want to add the list of companies that I'm working with, or list of okay, all this list of companies that do fly around, but I don't want to show it to the user. I don't want to launch it. I just want to see how it's going to look. Now for it, now let's say after adding it, and I have to still come and update it on your own code, on your own code, on your own code, on your own code. And I remember that we are using different CSS style. So the style that I have on this landing page is going to be different for the style you're going to have for the about page, you're going to have for the other sections. So which means after writing out the whole code, after I finish adding any update on this page, I still have to come and ask you, okay, Emmanuel, where is your, please give me your CSS file, give me your CSS file, give me your CSS file, give me your CSS file. I have to manually still use my hand and start fixing the CSS file one after the other. This is where Git comes in. So Git acts as a middle person that allows us to track changes within our code. So in the sense that we can be 10 working on the same code and I will get the update on real time. So I don't have to worry if you are working on the about page and you are working on the landing page, you are working on the what's the contact page, and I'm working on the footer. So if as far as that all of us are just working together, like I'm working on the same project, so I can easily merge all of them. Like Git will easily merge my code, your code, all of our code together into one code base that will really just run into one what's it called, one single file that we can just use. Now, so within Git, there are a couple of keywords that you hear every time. So I'm going to use Notepad. I'm going to bring out Notepad. So the first couple of keywords. So there are a list of keywords. Give me a sec. Let me pick up my notes. So couple of keywords that you always hear in Git. We have branches. We have branch. You hear things like branch. Let me put it like this. We have branch. You hear merge. Merge. You hear pull. You hear push. You hear remove. You hear commute. You hear which other ones? So you hear repo.
Repository.
Yeah, you hear repo. You hear checkout fetch. You hear checkout. I'm trying to just give you the ones that you'll be using. Like the other one, like I don't know, I'm going to just bring out like the ones that like you cannot do without. Like every day you know, like you hear things like staging. The ones you use every day, right? You hear fork. You hear clone. Okay. Where rebase tags, like okay, so let's go through this one after the other. So what does this mean? What does a branch mean? So a branch means an independent, like for example, okay, let me open up this. We are using, let's use a folder as what's it called, a folder as an illustration here. So that's the easiest way to explain it, right? Because I said on this course I'm going to be demystifying all of these junks, all of this hard stuff, and all of this big English within the tech ecosystem to as small as possible that you can just look at and then you understand. So now a branch is like a folder that contains files, and then those files are your project files. Now a branch is like a folder. Let's take it a folder that contains an independent 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 copy of your project. So a branch is a folder that contains an independent copy of your project. Now I can have as many branches as possible. So each time you are creating a branch, it's like duplicating that project, your particular project, that particular project you are working on, to work on a separate aspect of it. Let's say for example, um this is what's it called? I can call this the landing page. This is just the landing page. I can have a separate what's it called folder to work on the login authentication. I also have a separate folder to work on the dashboard. Oh, okay, sorry. I'm not logged in, so it's not allow me access to the dashboard. So I can decide to have a separate folder to work on this future authentication. And the beautiful thing about this is that even if I have errors on the authentication, it will not disturb any that has to do on the landing page, on the main page, or like on the other folder, like on the other aspects of the code. I can decide to probably, let's say for example, have a branch for, okay, that's what most big companies have. They have branches for each release. So I can have a branch for version 1 of my app, still have another branch for version 2, still have another version for branch for version 3. So independently I can maintain and collect things from version 1 and put it into version 2 without bothering whether I'm going to lose the code of version 1 or version 2 or version 3. So that's the simplest way to explain this. Now merge allows us to merge these branches. So like I said, since all of us are working on a project and Emmanuel is working on the about page, Samuel is working on the contact page, and you, Asha, is working on the landing page. So when you guys are done, so how do I get all those pages to turn, like how do I get all of those projects to work at one? So we use what we call merge. So the keyword merge allows us to merge all the whole projects into one. So what's it called? Merge the entire code base. Entire code base into one. Now push. So there's another aspect of Git which goes hand in hand, which is GitHub. So I'm going to just digress a bit to explain GitHub. Now GitHub is an online library that allows, like, GitHub is an online database that allows us to store our code online. Now on a norm, when you talk about database, you can store files, documents, and all of those things. Now GitHub specifically allows us to store our project, our code base on the air. Now that's why you see, I don't know if you watch videos on YouTube, I don't know, you guys can look at all these videos, a day in the life of a developer, right? So now I can easily, for me personally, I can easily now without my laptop go to Abuja, buy a new laptop in Abuja, or get a new laptop in Abuja and start working on any project I'm working on, like at the go. Why? Because all of my codes are on GitHub, and it allows me to access it whenever I want to, or whenever I want, like whenever I need it or I want to. It's like storing, like GitHub, it's like Google Drive, but this time around those Google Drive is for code. Google Drive for code. Now so push allows us to push all these merge changes to GitHub, to store it on GitHub. Send our changes GitHub. Sorry. I was talking about push and I was calling pull. While pull allows us to download changes that was made in other branches. Remote allows us to put things remotely, to get information remotely, either to check status, either to download, either to set it. Like remote allows us, the remote keyword allows us to work with GitHub directly from our local host. I'm not supposed to do this like I'm doing now, but the purpose I gave, one of the reasons why I gave you guys those resources, it's for me to just get questions. But I think, and already we have a lot to go through, and the problem now is that our time is already ticking. I don't know how many minutes we have left. We still have like 36 minutes, and then it's running in seconds. So when I drop resources, I just want you guys to just go through those resources. That it's gonna be easier. Um, so commit allows us to add changes. Already made changes. Then repo. Now, what's a repo? Repo is a short form for repository. Now, a repository is the collection of different branches. Look at it as having a one folder. Okay, for example, I can have, okay, okay, I have this folder. Okay, I have this folder here. Let's say this repository is called, I have a project that I have that is called projects, or a repo that is called project. So then project has a lot of other folders inside it, right? So once I open up this, you see that I have different files, like this are a couple of projects I've done in the past, right? Now looking at this already, see I have folders inside this folder, and then each of these folder has other folders inside it. Now it contains individual projects. Now looking at a repo, so we can say that a repo is it's the mother project that like the mother file or folder that contains all different branches. Now looking at this, now we have this project as a repo, and now these are different. Let's say this can be a branch 1, branch 2, branch 3, branch 4, branch 5, branch 6, different branches within this particular repo. So a repository, excuse me, so a repo contains all the whole individual files, right, for a project. So fetch allows us to fetch data from GitHub, right? Then checkout allows us to switch branches locally. Staging allows us to add the changes that we have made before we commit it. Now what's the difference between like staging and committing? Now, first of all, when we create a branch, or when we create, I don't know if I have any project open up. Let me just leave it. Right now, first of all, when you open up, when you create a project or when you add a change, first of all, you need to stage the change first. After staging the change, that staging change is telling Git that okay, I've made this change. Now, commit is after making couple of other changes and staging them, right? Now you can commit them to the main file. Now, Git structure saves your file, or the change tracks the changes in a tree format. In a tree, we have the branch, the tree leaves, and all of those things. Now Git stores this in a tree format. So staging allows this to know, okay, you have made this change. So when you make any stage change on your project, you stage first. After staging, then you commit. Now fork allows you to clone. Now when someone say I forked a repository, so let me try opening up my GitHub. um Sorry. Okay. It's still loading. So I want to show you guys something. Mm. Oh, don't worry. When I'm done with the OTP stuff, later I will just show you. I don't know. Okay. Mm. It's not allowing me. When I fix this, I'll show you what I want to show you. Right now, there are projects that you might like. Let's say I have a project. Like I have projects on my GitHub that maybe you can be like, okay, I want to work on this project. Let's say, for example, okay, I have a couple of projects. I have a couple of like plenty projects I can go up and okay. I have this other app on my GitHub, Sun City app. Now, let's say you want to build a web banner app, now and you don't want to start from scratch. You can go to GitHub and look at people that made their repository public, that have built that weather app, and then you can fork the weather app. Forking it means that you are copying it from my own code, from my own GitHub to your own GitHub. Then you can make your own changes on the project. Now, cloning means you pulling down a repository from online. So most times when you join a project, or when you join your company, so I work remote. I also have I have physical office that I work in. I also work remote. So most of the times, let's say I work with a couple of people, both Nigeria, outside Nigeria, and all of this. So now most times when you join projects, or when you're hired in a company, first thing they, after your interview, once you're accepted, they'll give you access to the GitHub, right? Your GitHub, to the Git company code base, which is on GitHub. And next thing they ask you, like the next thing you do is to clone that particular GitHub. And once you clone it, you can be able to make changes locally and then push it. And then once it's accepted, it's going to start working on, right? That's a brief summary about GitHub. So I really want you guys go and watch that video. I want to check how many minutes do we have. We have 29 minutes. Okay, that's it. Now, so that video contains Git, and I think it also talked about how to create a GitHub account. So go and watch it. Create a GitHub account, and what's it called? Let's start. So if you have any questions on it, you can drop it on the comments on the this thing. So now the next what's it called? The next time we talk about is Visual Studio Code, or in short VS Code. Now we've been using an online text editor. For a very long time now. We've been using Leprit. Leprit allows us to write code on the web. Now we want to start writing our code locally, debug it and test it and see how it's going to work. Right now, the tool we need is an IDE or a text editor. Now, you hear people use this interchangeably. You have IDE, or you need an IDE or a text editor. Text editor. So what's the difference, you might ask me? An IDE is what's it called? An integrated development environment. So IDE comes with everything that you need to write a particular language. And most IDEs are specialized. Let's say, for example, if I download an IDE for JavaScript, everything within the JavaScript ecosystem that I will need to write any JavaScript program will come by default with the IDE. Right? If I download an IDE for Java, a programming language, either Java or Python or C++, what it means that everything that has to do with Java or Python or all of those things will be pre-built inside it to work, right? Now, but a text editor is a lightweight notepad. Just take it like that. Call it notepad. It's the way you can really write your code on notepad and it will still work, right? If you want, you can test it out. Like, you can write your HTML CSS on your notepad and it will work. Like, basically, it doesn't really send where you're writing your code from. As far as like you're using the right extensions and then you're keeping up to the rules of that particular programming language, it's gonna definitely work. So we can try it out by, okay, let's just do a test to show you like it can still work, right? So I will save this as on my desktop. Instead of this, I'll just come down, select all file, and then come over to this place. I think it allows, okay. Come over to this place and write I'll save this. I'll write this. Let's see, live class .html. So as I save it with HTML, if I put my, what's it called, doc type, so I've skipped the doc type for now, then just go into HTML, and bring it down. I was trying to do some sweet stuff that I used to do on my code editor, but now I remember that actually it's 1T. Okay, I think it's 1T. I just do live class to show it's gonna work. So we just have our body. Close up our body. And then we have each one that says welcome. Welcome to live class. To each one. Then let's save. You do Ctrl S to save, or you can just click on save. Now let's find it. It's on my desktop. So this is it. So look at where we saved our live file. So this is it here. So if I double click on this, so let's open it up. So we have our live class. I hope you guys can see my stream. Am I still on the meeting? Right? So you see that we have live class on top. Like we wrote this code using Notepad. So now This is also a text editor. So now, but we have special text editors, right, for writing code. What I wanted to show you is that you can write your code basically anywhere as far as you have your .html and your web browser on. So this was the old way we used to write code, like with this basically before started having what's it called? Started having Visual Studio Code being this popular, right? I remember those days when I was learning like PHP and all of those things. We used to write most of our code on notes, on serious notes. So now, so the text editor we're going to be using, right, is Visual Studio Code. I don't know there's no how if you are writing code like you've been in this ecosystem, like either you must hear someone called Visual Studio Code or VS, even if you don't know what it's used for. So just I know you've heard about it or you've interacted about it. I interacted with it some way, like one way or the other. Visual Studio Code is a text editor, not an IDE, right? A lightweight text editor that allows you to write any programming language as far as like you have the engine or the things that will enable you to write that programming language like on your distinct text editor. Now I'll double click on this. So I'm going to drop the file on this link on the of this Visual Studio Code. So download. So I'm using Windows. So if you're using Mac, so this is what you're going to download if you're using Mac. If you're using Linux, this is what you're going to download. So I'm using Windows, so I'm going to download this version. So I'll click on download. I already have it on my system, but I think I'll still download it with you guys. So it's downloading already. So I'm going to copy this link. This is the download link. I'll still paste it here. So I've already pasted it on the group for you guys to download. So if you guys can just click on the link to basically work, or what's it called? So to save time, I already have it on my system. Right? To just save time, I already have it on my system. I'll post it here. So let me get this. Where do I even have it? This place is a place that I still still. But I guess I just want to show you guys how to set it up. So but installation is very simple, nothing like I don't know, the network is gonna take a while. I don't know if we have enough time to do the installation. Okay, give or take if it works, right? Now the assignment for this week, this is the first assignment for the week. So download Git. Now for you to be able to use Git, sorry that I did not talk about this. Yes, I just remembered. You have to download Git. So for you to be able to use Git, this Git, now you have to download Git and then install Git. So I'm going to drop so for this same thing applies for this. So automatically it detects that I'm using Windows, so it will just ask me to download it for Windows. So I'll just click on download for Windows. So now you have different options to download here. You have portable. So now if you are using a 32-bit system or 64-bit, so how do you know if you're using a 32-bit or 64-bit? Now come to this place. God, I have to bring it up again. Okay, let me just show you guys. So you have to come to this Windows, click on this PC, right click, you see properties, click on properties. Then scroll down here, so you see that I'm using a 64-bit type operating system. Right, I'm using a 64-bit type operating system. Now if you're using a 32-bit operating, it's going to show. Right, now based on whatever you are using, whether it's 32 or 64. So if it is 64-bit that you find that place, I said right click, go to click on this PC, right click, you see on the bottom you're going to see it's taking time to load. Oh God of Elijah, I thought I have fast internet connection. Why is it taking this time? Oh, I don't even have enough space again in my system to do this. Now so if you're using a 64-bit system, just download this. If you're using a 32, download this, right? So I'm using a 64-bit, so I guess I have to download it too. Why are you taking me to YouTube? Okay, so I'll just click on this place. So click here to download. Why are you taking me to GitHub, guys? Why are you taking me to GitHub? I can't do this authentication here on camera. I don't know. And then I'm still clicking on this and on this, right? So I don't know how we're gonna do it. Well, now your assignment first, that if you don't have GitHub already, if you don't have so three assignments. First assignment is one, download create a GitHub account. Two, install Git. Then three, install Visual Studio Code. So, and all of these things that I've said now are on the resources that I dropped. Like all of these things that I've been saying and hammering, right? If like come on, check up down, check this link. Like, okay, let me pull up this resource. Let me pull up one of those resources for you to see that actually, like, all the resources that I gave you guys are well in depth. You understand? So they are in depth. So you don't really need like what's happening? Okay. So this one should be if this one is not working, this one should be working. Okay, this allows you to write code online. So basically, and then there's this video. So this takes you step by step, teaching you like, okay, all of these things that I've said, like all of these things that I've said, like all of these things, like all of these things. So look at it now, all of these things, like. So go through these resources, guys. Please go through these resources. Now the video is there to guide you guys. Me, I'm always on the repo. I said on the repo. Sorry. Me, I'm always on the chat. I think 80%, like at least I think my lowest response time is 1 hour, right? My lowest response time is 1 hour to every chat. I know that some persons that have sent me direct DMs that have not replied, but at least even if I don't reply in the morning, in the night, if you chat me by 2 a.m., you notice like it will tick. Chat me by 1 a.m., it will tick. Chat me like I'm always active. Like I'm always working. I'm always working on stuff, right? So all of these things is to show you that like I dey active. So just send your questions, send your stuffs. So we're still going to have this class on Thursday. So I want you guys to create a GitHub account, right? Install Git, put up your Visual Studio Code. So assignments. So these are the assignments, right? So I'm still going to be dropping a couple of other articles or resources probably if need be for clarifications, and then still going to on Thursday we're still going to have our classes, right? So get to throw me your questions and all of these things. Now, because why I'm taking my time to give you guys enough resources and enough time room to learn, watch videos, go through resources, go through this is that. From now henceforth, everything we're going to be doing is every of our stuff is going to be within Git. Okay, somewhere you have a question you can ask. Somewhere you can ask your question.
This GitHub,
Yeah,
like, can it be hacked? Like, store all this your code and stuff in there.
yeah. So I sorry, ask your question
Like,
again.
whether it's like it's 100% secure to store code, like whether you store your code and your project there, whether it can be hacked or something like that.
No, no, it cannot be hacked now. Ah, GitHub is owned by Microsoft, so it cannot be hacked. Like, if you eventually hack GitHub now, like Google it in GitHub, Google it on GitHub. Microsoft, like this your Microsoft code, like your OS now it's on GitHub. Any application you can think of, it's on GitHub basically. So the security on GitHub is very very like it's super super super. If you notice something like I'm supposed to do I've been getting a notification to do two-factor authentication for my GitHub account and I've not done it. Like I've not done it. So I was trying to log into GitHub now and then it's not allowing me, like it's sending me back. I must like go and do it, right? So Emmanuel, can I ask, open ask. Then how many minutes?
You said something about class saying that we would be doing GitHub and JavaScript or something.
No, no, no.
So, what
No, ask. Continue.
am I right?
No, no. Finish up first. Let me know where to come from.
Okay. What I want to say is that we've not really done enough CSS and stuff. So I'm wondering how we are moving to like JavaScript already.
So for the CSS, I thought I dropped a couple of links for you guys, like, and then I don't know. Were you here? Were you in the last meeting?
No, I was not in the last meeting.
Okay.
In the last meeting.
Oh yeah. So in the last meeting, like we talked about all of these things, right? And then I showed you guys that we're on the last meeting. I dropped okay on the group now. I can see it. I have responsive designs. I have flexbox on the this thing. I have more like even YouTube videos, and also I showed people on the last call how to get projects, how to go about CSS, how like basically you cannot learn the whole CSS. You understand? You cannot learn the whole CSS. what I'm here to do is to give you the foundational knowledge and then guide you, right? And then the more you use CSS, the more you learn. That's one of the reasons why. Okay, let me pull up our. I'm going to pull up our project, the project that Okay, let me pull up the project. This project, right? This is the project that I promised you guys. So on the last call, we were talking about something. So I wanted to do at first. I wanted to do a basic landing page for you guys, right? And then we started to use our Google Meet. We started to use our Google Meet interface for that last week as what's it called, as our project. So I'm yet to drop the video, but I'm done with it. I'm yet to drop the video, but I'm done with it, right? So I think it's this place, localhost 3000. Okay, it's still starting up. Oh, sorry, I have another thing running on localhost 3000. Let me quickly try to pull it up before this class ends. So let me show you guys. So now on this, I went in depth on some of the tags I did not even talk about on the video. So all of the go of teaching as much as I can, right? Okay, yeah, it's gonna open. How many minutes do you have? How many seconds do you have on the meeting? Ended. Okay, we have 6 more minutes. So let me show you guys what I did. The project I did for you guys. So this is it. Like, this is our last class, like our last class interface, right? So when I drop this thing, I'm expecting you guys, the guys that were on that team, to add on your own code, because I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you guys this code. I'm going to drop the GitHub link, because we're going to be, because I said from now henceforth we're going to start using more of GitHub, Git, and Visual Studio Code. Now, this week basically is Git. So we have this week to learn Git. We have this week to learn GitHub, how to use Git and GitHub. So next week is JavaScript. Basically, next week is JavaScript. So it's a 6 weeks program. So the first week is HTML, second week JavaScript. Now the third week is supposed to be first week HTML, second week CSS, third week JavaScript before Git. But for some reasons we are going to be using Git first. We start with Git, then next week we move into JavaScript, right? Now the whole goal of this thing is that for you to learn how to go around it. So at the last week, so when we are done with this program, so I think I'm going to give extra 1 week, maybe the 7th week. So I'm going to teach you guys tricks, how to learn, how to go over all of these things, right? How to go over all of these things. Like, you don't have to have CSS like every week, every month. A new CSS this thing is coming out. To be honest, like every month, a new CSS style. In fact, Google Chrome self, Google Chrome, I've not even implemented half of CSS, to shock you. So another thing that come to my mind, I think I forgot, so I'm going to drop this on the chat too, right? You guys should download everybody should download Google Chrome, Google Dev Chrome. We have normal Chrome, we have normal Chrome, we have Google Dev. Wait, let me pull it up. So Chrome Dev, sorry. So Chrome Dev. Now Chrome Dev has the latest and the most updated version of CSS, HTML, and JavaScript, right? So our official, so for this next this thing, for this next phase of our this thing, learning this thing, so we are going to be using 4 tools: Git, GitHub, Visual Studio Code, and Chrome Dev. So even if you have your normal Chrome, download this Chrome Dev. Because it has a lot of features that you won't find on your normal GitHub, on your normal Chrome. So I've already posted the assignment. So just set this thing up. Set this up, set this, set this, set this. Right now, I'm going to be dropping a Google link, Google form for the assignment, where you guys are going to you're going to put in your Google what's it called, your GitHub link. So you have from now to tomorrow 8 p.m. to drop your Google link, your Gmail, your username, what's it called, your GitHub username. Your GitHub username, your GitHub link. Now, if okay, I don't know where have I sent. I think I've sent it to somebody. Yeah, I'll show you an example of what it looked like on the top here. Like if I don't know, God, I beg, help me to access this GitHub. Okay, let me try one more time. So your GitHub once you are done once you are done with all of these things, right? I can't do this now. Good. So let me just leave it. So you're going to submit your GitHub profile username and your GitHub link. Right? Your GitHub username and your GitHub link, right? These are the two things that you're going to submit on the assignment. So you have from now to 8 p.m. tomorrow to create a GitHub account, install Git, install Visual Studio Code. That we kick off the next part, right? So that we start testing out our Git command. Oh, that ended. With normal na can so you for me. Na so you too much. I used to normal na can do those so you. Na what am for more? Nsi agoyo na kwenzi so na mommy say akwachi pilu. So ki ono kwa na ya de kan. So guys, so see you guys on Thursday. So these are the things that we need for this next stage. So create a GitHub account, install Git, install Visual Studio Code, install Chrome Dev, right? So Chrome Dev. So I'll drop the live link of I'm going to drop this night now. Then I'm going to drop Friday on tomorrow morning, please. For some reason I'm going to drop it tomorrow morning. And what else? The form.